was the Misfits and how was General Huge Erection, pitched to you?
So the Misfits were put together by Vince Russo because we were truly called. He put a bunch of guys in the room. He goes, "Listen, there's nothing. We just have nothing for you. You guys, you're like just a bunch of misfits right now." So a light bulb goes off, right? And you go, "Okay." So we're trying to figure out, okay, you got nothing for us. And it wasn't as a group, as individuals. He talked to a whole bunch of people. There's just nothing for you. But just right now, you're like misfits. So we started thinking about it. One thing like, well, what do we call each other? Well, there's already the Misfits, right? The group, the rock, the punk group.
Yeah.
Who were with WCW. So we got together and we sat down with Arn Anderson and Vince Russo. So the guys that sat down together were Van Hammer, Chavo Guerrero, Lash, LaRue, and myself. So then, and to make us legitimate as a group, Booker T, because Booker T had a gimmick in Texas where he called himself G.I. Bro. So he was the leader. He was G.I. Bro. Well, then we all had to come up with kind of like military names. So Hammer was Lieutenant Stash because he always kept his stuff to himself. He never shared with anybody.
Yeah.
Lash LaRue was Corporal Cajun because, he's Lash LaRue. Chavo was Lieutenant Loco because he's freaking crazy. He's a Guerrero. Then they brought the girl in because she was originally one of Steiner's girls. She was one of the 3 girls. Well, they didn't know what to do with her. And because she was big busted, they called her Major Guns.
Tylene Buck, right?
Yeah. So I was Captain Rection. And that was the running joke, was they just called me Rection. But when the first opportunity, and to the night you're talking about, Booker had, I think, a concussion. He was supposed to work with Scott Steiner at the pay-per-view. And they came to me and said, "You want to go?" Hell yeah. Go get your stuff. And, we had the military gear. And, it was just starting out. But they gave me this promo, and they said, "This is a one-time only." So I cut it, this promo. I read it. I'm going, "Come on." And they're like, "Yeah, just do it." So I go out, and I was walking down the thing, and, I'm tired of not being taken seriously. And from now on, I want to be known as my real name, Hugh G. Rection.
I love that. I love that promo though. That was so good because the deliverance in it was so awesome.
But we go and have the match with Scott, and I loved it. I thought it was really a good match. And they swore to me it was just one time only. Well, the next night on Raw, as I'm coming down the ramp, there it is on the flag, Hugh G. Rection.
So there was no plan to keep that gimmick as like an ongoing thing. It was like he goes back to Hugh Morris and
Right. And so that's why I agreed on it. One, it got me on the pay-per-view. It got more eyes on me and let me work with the top guys. But now I got to call my mom and say, please don't be offended by that name. You're trying to explain it. But I fully engulfed it. I changed my email name, became Hugh G. Rection. Everything I did became Hugh G. Rection. So much so that I had an action figure in the making, and then they squashed it all. They said because they can't put something with Hugh G. Rection on it on the market and sell it. So while the name helped my career, it took away any merchandise or anything.
I feel like you could have had like, and I think this could have been used for like Val Venus. I could see like Hugh G. Rection, and on the back, "I work stiff." You know what I mean? Like, I just think I feel like that was such a missed opportunity,
So, it was a lot of fun, but then, we got the okay. I said, let's get water guns. And we came out and they're like, water guns. And we sent the runner out, and they got this big super soakers. and the music would hit, and we'd come out and squirt, and the people went crazy every night for us, and we just had a ball until it started to become. Oh, I'm sorry. His name was Sergeant Stash. So he went into Bischoff and complained that why is he a sergeant when he's been in the business 10 years, and this girl who's nobody knows her, why is she a major?
What the fuck?
It
doesn't need to make sense like that.
Are you serious? He goes, I've been in this business longer than her, and why does she have a higher rank than me?
Wow.
And we, Chavo and I, we sat there looking at each other, and then, he said, Hammer said to Arn Anderson, you know what we should do? Keep us off TV for 6 months. Let's starve the people. And Arn Anderson looked at him and goes, no one knows who the hell you are now. And so that's when we went, shut up. Let's work. Lo and behold, Sergeant Stash was out. AWOL came in. Jerry Tootie, my dear friend, my Jersey brother. And there we were again. The Misfits were off and running. And it was a great time.
I feel like the Wall was such a perfect person to put in there. Like, and you know what, Jerry Toot, I've always said this, is like that guy is such one of the most underrated big men in the business. Yes. Alan Funk, who's a friend of mine, has said how much of a sweetheart that Jerry was. And you hear these stories of how much of a great guy that he was, very giving, but just, I remember his presence in the ring. He just looked like a fucking star. Like, this guy was huge. He could go.
Yeah. And he could go. And like, he was a gentle giant. He was a sweetheart. I loved not only working with him, just being with him. That group of guys really came together off screen. I mean, we really got to know each other. We shared a lot of personal stuff, and it was 4 guys that were really trying to make it in the business, and it really was a good time. I miss Jerry a lot. He's a good man.
Definitely.